address that. You got my promise and pledge on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just clarify something. I did not say anything negative. Dr. Robert Malone said that Reverend Dunn was next, who was a part of this homeowners association. I said, that's okay. If that's negative, then I don't know what negative is. So anyway, let me respond to the question. Many times what we find in these debates is theory versus reality. Idealism versus reality.
All right.
Question is, what have they done? You know, if you haven't been a fighter, if you're 60-some years old and you haven't fought for anything then, what makes you think they're going to fight for something now? It's not going to happen. I've been fighting all my life. I was fighting when I was 29 years old. So you don't have to be old to fight. Your track record will show who you are. Anybody can pontificate. And that's what we find a lot of at these debates. What I would do, man, Mr. Burnside, you raised that question last night. We have to accept the fact, and this is, I come from an educated family. Mama, daddy, sister, my wife, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncles. I'm educated. I have a master's, almost a doctorate degree, earned from an accredited university in theological seminary. But my point is this. Everybody is not prepared for academia. We have to accept that. That is the face of District 5. So what we have to do is take advantage of this region. This is a tourism region. And we need to help to create jobs for individuals who may not be educated or academically inclined, but can do the job, who can be carpenters, who can be builders, who can be in the trade, who can be a part of tourism. Remember, I know some people who work out in the hot sun make more money than folk who sit behind the desk all day long.
You know, the one thing that I promise you, no cheap shots. I'm not going to say anything about others. I'm going to stick to the facts. And you know what? If it weren't for idealism, if it weren't for people who had a vision beyond doing what's always been done, we'd still be walking around behind a mule plowing. But you know, somebody had a vision that said, we can do better and we can do more. And I want you to know, I'm that person who has that kind of vision. And as for fighting, I've been fighting since I was 18 years old. Led the first demonstration at Edison High School when there were no black cheerleaders and no black drum majors and nobody in the band. And it didn't stop there. It went on in college and it continued every day. But I fight for families whose children are about to be taken from them. And I leave when it's time to leave. Because I worked in complex situations that are more than a $3 million budget. The budget that I worked on had $150 million, $600 million in pass-through for food stamps, Medicare, and Medicaid. So I'm not talking about what I think I can do. I'm telling you about what I've already done. So $524 million budget is a piece of cake. You know why? Because I followed the money. The reason that this district, this region, was able to keep the money that it had and not lose any more than it did was because I know about finances. And I know how to follow a budget. I don't need an MBA. And I know how to follow money. And that's how it works.
Let's go.
So I just want you to know, 30 seconds, is that what you're telling me now? Oh, that's like 2 minutes.
All right.
And I'm going to read all of them that you gave me because they were excellent. It really was. And the next question is from Kevin McNear.
Good evening. We just came from press, and so it's been 30 hours of work, so I'm sorry I'm not shaved and dressed, but the paper is out. So, you know, that's what it is. I'll smell pretty good too, but I just look raggedy. I feel raggedy. You know, I just gotta say, and I get my one chance to editorialize, so I'm gonna do that now. I was most disappointed in several of the debates that transpired because of the sentiment that came from the floor, or maybe candidates or maybe both. And the sentiment was, as I understood it, you know, we have a lot of needs, but nobody reads them out many times. The only thing they need is the old bids, and so we don't bother with them. I've been working with the black press 16 to 18 years. I have a match. I went to a private all-boys school. I went to the University of Michigan. I graduated with honors. I went to Emory. I graduated with honors. I went to Princeton. I graduated with honors. And I came to the black press, the Michigan Chronicle, the Atlanta Voice, the Chicago Defender, Indigo, Grand Rapids Times, and now the Miami Times, because I believe that black folk can make a difference, black folk. And I'm gonna tell you guys, it hurt me to my heart to know that some of my black brothers and sisters that are running for office have disrespected the institution of the black press the way they have. I was really hurt. But I'm not going to stop doing my job because some of you are small-minded, nimble-minded individuals. No.
What's the question?
I'm not. When I get a chance, I said I editorialize first, and I got a chance, and you let me. My question is, since we are no longer relevant, how do you get more than 2 people to vote in Lemon City? Since the press and media ain't real necessary, where will your voters come from? How do you get out the message? In your few days remaining, what means would you take? Because I want to see people vote. We're irrelevant, so be it, but I don't know what else to do but to try to persuade them. Maybe you got a better suggestion. I'd like to know it.
Y'all got the question, right? It's about why are you all neglecting us? See, he's my boss,
Okay.
he's diplomatic.
Okay.
Why y'all neglecting us, and how you gonna get your votes?
You know, the one thing that I do know about life and things in general is that, and Kevin, you know this better than I, everything changes. The way you get your message out changes. The audience that you send your message to changes. And a part of what all of us have to do, not just me, but all of us have to figure out what it means to have a vision that's larger than and greater than where we are right now. Now, my message has been, you want to hear how I got my message out? I have been walking, and I'm sure that all of you have seen me at least 2 or 3 times, and walking, and canvassing, I'll call it canvassing that time, and walking some more. Because I recognize that the best way for me to get my message out, and the way that I can most afford it, is for people to meet me. So I walk, and I walk, and I walk. I spend what money I have raised very expeditiously because I had to work hard to raise it. You know, I don't have any special folks that's out there raising money for me. I don't have a godmother or a godfather or it's me. Begging for money from and asking for money from the folks who love and support me and who believe in this community and believe in a larger vision for this community than what we have right now. So, that's what's happened. I am buying an ad. That's the question. I am buying an ad. And I am doing my part in the black media.
Our black newspapers are relevant. Because that same type of argument that black newspapers are not relevant is the same thing they use about my alma mater, Florida A&M University, saying that historically black colleges are not relevant. But the devil is a liar. We know that in our community, the Miami Times is the paper of District 5. That is what we follow. Period. And I want to say this. A lot of us can't afford necessarily to place ads in certain newspapers. I can't speak for everyone because of the way that even the Miami Herald costs. I could never place an ad there. It costs too much money. And so there are financial constraints that some of us have. All of us can't write a $4,000 check to the Miami Times, although we wish we could. The way that we go about getting our message out in our community is walking. It's knocking on doors. And trust me, I've knocked on more doors than all three of these people completed. So you can walk circles around the park all you want to. But when you talk about whose signs are in people's yards, when you talk about how many door handles are on your door, when you talk about the face-to-face communication with people, that's what my campaign does. Absolutely every single day. The things on your doors and the things in our community don't get out because someone is sitting behind a wooden or glass and leather chair table. It doesn't happen that way. So, 30 seconds. When I think about what's going on with the Miami Times, trust me, the Miami Times will have the type of support that it needs moving forward. Because I believe in the runoff is where candidates get a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to budgets. And then also, as a commissioner, you have the ability to advertise with the Miami Times and provide more funding to them than you would as a candidate. So don't think about this as an opportunity where you've missed it, but you have an opportunity where you're going to continue to grow as a paper if I'm commissioner. Thank you.
The way I've been getting my message out is I guess I was the second person who filed, right, after Dunn, who was already on there. I didn't wait. I didn't wait till it was convenient. I didn't wait. I did not wait until somebody else's case was over.
Yeah. Now you're talking about it.
Okay? So I want to say, I just want to be clear about the dynamics that's in this race right now. And I went to everybody who I thought it mattered to me, that knew me for the last couple of years, who knew my dedication in this community. I went to them, all the way from Liberty Square, Upper East Side, Wynwood, every place. Every place. We did an event over town to draw people in as well. That's what I did. And I started walking before everybody because I filed after Dunn. So I was walking as well. And those signs had been put up by Mr. Hardeman.
You don't mean that.
Hey, it's not like the Hardeman that you want to be. You three things you don't do.
Look. I'm sorry. I would say I did see Mr. Hardeman walk, but he also had help putting those signs down. And just like with Mr. Dunn, and just like with Mr. Collier, everybody up here had assistance to work and put these signs down. But I want to let you know one thing: I do not dislike the Miami Times or don't want to do business with them. I love this community. I've been in this community all my life. And it's something that I have pride for, that I know that things can get better. So I want to say this. I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
You know, this is almost hilarious because the question that was raised was, what would you do? And it's, again, we talk about experience. It's what I have done. I've been involved. I understand that a guy like Richard Dunn, who's a fighter, will probably have a slim chance of being endorsed by the Miami Herald special interest because they're afraid of strong black men. If you look at their track record, they have been a part of, they have been a part of the castration of black men in this town. And so I know that my only support and that I can turn to not just the Miami Times, but WMBM. And I hear people talking about, well, you know, I don't have $4,000 and, you know, I knock on doors. I did that too. But the Bible says where your treasures are, your heart is also. It's about priority. And so whether you got $100, whether you got $500, whether you have $1,000, there were times when I did not raise the kind of money that I raised, but I always supported the Miami Times. I always supported WMBM. As a matter of fact, that's where I led the largest boycott that this county has ever known in 1990 when Dr. T.S. Green was overlooked for superintendent. Right on WMBM. I understand the black press because I'm a product of an HBCU. I've said loud, I'm black and I'm proud, but I can get along with everybody.
Okay, here's the question. We're doing it, you all, okay? Some of you all, I'm gonna see you outside. Question, will you as an elected commissioner be willing to establish an oversight committee to address the blighted, I'm sure areas, abandoned, dilapidated, toxic homes and buildings in District 5 to address reestablishing our community in a positive light? That's very good. Okay. Will you, as an elected commissioner, be willing to establish an oversight committee to address the blighted, abandoned, dilapidated, toxic homes and buildings in District 5 to address reestablishing our community in a positive light? The second one, on the next one I should say, what are the limits of Overtown? Who asked this question? What? Okay, limits to what?
Because she was saying, Overtown now is a place where they're investing, where you can go out and enjoy and stuff there.
Can't hear you, get the phone.
There are clubs.
I got it.
There are clubs there that you can go out and enjoy yourself in Overtown. So I want to know what is the limit of Overtown?
The boundaries, you
Yeah,
saying?
the boundaries.
Okay, I don't know.
This is the only.
I know that, what's the boundaries?
This street on the south, 22nd on the north, I-95 on the west,
Stand up, Muhammad, say it again.
Miami Avenue on the east, I-95 on the west, 22nd Avenue, 22nd Street on the north, and Northwest 5th Street on the south.
I do know I-95 is on the east.
On the west. No,
Oh, west side of it.
No.
Oh, I got you. Say it one more time.
I-95 on the west.
Okay.
Miami Avenue on the east.
Gotcha.
5th Street on the south.
Okay.
And Northwest 22nd Street on the north.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad.
That's not true.
That's not.
You need a pass to be across the railroad track to die.
Okay,
That's right.
calm down tonight.
Everywhere we go, there's always a bunch of experts in Overtown.
What is it? What is it?
It was the FCC
Be
railroad
quiet,
track.
be quiet. Wait. Those of you who are leaving, please, okay? And listen, okay? And after he said wrong, y'all ain't said nothing else, okay? We're gonna do something different next week, okay?
The FCC railroad track on the east has always has been since 1897.
Oh, on the east, what?
That's correct, the FEC railroad.
Okay, got that, okay.
It's 3 blocks before you get to Miami Avenue.
Okay, no, it was too much.
On the west, it is 7th Avenue, except when the city wants to use their CDBG money in
Okay,
then it is 13th Avenue.
Okay, okay.
On the south, it is 4th Street and the river, and they want to develop the river walk.
Gotcha.
On the north, it is 22nd Street, even though some people, my friends born in Overtown were born on 23rd. But if you go there now, you will see a big sign at 20th Street that says, welcome to Wynwood.
Okay, all right. Okay, listen, we 5 minutes, we're gonna be out here, but wait.
They really don't know.
Please, walk, please,
They
be quiet,
don't
please.
know.
Come on, it's time, be quiet. Okay. With the unemployment being over, they have a percentage, but I don't know what it is. In black communities, what can you do to provide jobs for the unemployed or establish only English-speaking job seekers? They have a problem because they got, if you don't speak Spanish, you can't get no job. Okay, that's what it means. Okay. Or anyone, can any one of you candidates